Welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a piece of hardware that is, well, it's arguably doing the heavy lifting for modern corporate communication.
Yeah, you could call it the central nervous system of a complex boardroom.
Exactly. We're talking about the Kramer VP-554X. And looking at the specs we pulled from HDTV Supply, calling this thing just an 11 by 4 presentation router feels it feels like an understatement.
Oh, it's a huge understatement. When you look at the sheer density of the I/O here, it's an entire ecosystem packed into a 2U rack mount. It manages the whole presentation environment.
So our mission today is to figure out how this single unit manages the absolute chaos of, multiple devices, formats, and long cable runs. Let's start with that 11 by 4 designation,
Right, so you've got 11 inputs total, 6 HDMI and 4 HDBaseT.
which is pretty standard for a high-end setup, but then there's that one legacy VGA port on the back. It feels a bit archaic in 2025.
It does, yeah. But for a boardroom install, that is your ultimate safety net. Oh, definitely. You cannot tell a high-stakes client their pitch is canceled just because they brought a 10-year-old laptop or some specialized medical device that only outputs analog.
So the Kramer takes that noisy analog signal and I'm guessing uses the scaler to make it play nice with the 4K distribution.
Precisely. And those 4 outputs are actually mirrored pairs of HDMI and HD Basic, so you're hitting local monitors and distant projectors at the exact same time.
Which brings us to the visuals. They list this Pix-Perfect scaling technology. And scaling is kind of a buzzword, but here it's doing a lot of heavy lifting for aspect ratios.
It is. It's not just basic upscaling. If you plug in that old 4.3 VGA source, you definitely do not want it stretched and distorted across a 16.9 4K video wall. This mapping technology preserves the geometry.
And I noticed the spec sheet mentions a built-in ProCamp for every single output.
Yeah, which is a feature you usually only see on broadcast gear.
Right, giving the installer granular control over color, hue, sharpness per output. So if you have a projector in the back that runs a little cool,
And a TV in the front that runs warm.
you just color match them directly from the router. No climbing ladders to mess with the on-screen menus.
It saves a massive amount of time. And speaking of saving headaches, we have to talk about constant output sync.
Oh, the black screen handshake. Anyone who has ever managed AV knows that pain.
It is the worst momentum killer in a meeting. You switch from a laptop to the room PC, and the projector just cuts to black for 5 seconds to resync.
But this unit keeps the sync signal active constantly, even during the switch.
Exactly. It makes the transition look like a clean TV cut rather than a hardware reboot.
Let's pivot to the audio side, because it looks like they're trying to eliminate the need for a separate audio rack entirely. You've got a built-in DSP EQ and a 2x20-watt power amp.
And 2 microphone inputs with talkover features.
Right, the ducking feature. So someone speaks into the mic and the presentation volume drops automatically.
Yep. For a standard medium-sized boardroom, you just wire your ceiling speakers directly into this unit. It significantly shrinks the rack footprint.
That's incredible. And we also need to touch on integration for things like Zoom rooms or Teams rooms. There's a 4x1 USB switcher built right in.
Which is critical in a BYOD world. Bring your own device. People aren't just presenting, they're hosting video calls. This acts like a KVM.
So if you switch the video to my laptop,
The system automatically routes the room camera, the mic, the sound bar directly to your laptop too.
so the host status just follows the video cable. That is foolproof for the end user.
It really is. And for the installer, that HDBaseT support simplifies the physical run. We're talking 4K video up to 100 meters or 1080p up to 180 meters.
Over a single Ethernet cable. And it's tunneling control signals too, right?
Yes. Ethernet, RS-232, and IR. No extra control wiring needed. One cable handles video, audio, and the command to turn the projector on.
Unbelievable. So when we look at the price on HDTV Supply, around $7,212, discounted from about $9,000, it gives you a bit of sticker shock at first glance.
Sure, but think about the value proposition. You're buying a scaler, a matrix switcher, an audio amp, a DSP, and a control processor in one box.
It just completely consolidates the chaos. Well, here is a final provocative thought for you to chew on as we wrap up this deep dive. As boardrooms become this sophisticated, with a device like the VP-554X automating so much of the signal flow behind the scenes, does this actually liberate the presenter to just plug and play? Or does that hidden complexity make the AV technician the most important person in the room if that one central unit goes down?
That is the eternal trade-off of centralization.
Thanks for diving in with us.